And it is time for those two Erangel games. Going to be an exciting one as well. We finish on Erangel. It's going to be game number 3 here of Group B for the PEL Kick-Off Cup. It's 5, it's 4, it's 3, it's 2. The commentators.
Well done, James, for being able to count, is my first reaction to that one. Either way, welcome back to Erangel. This is game number 3 of the afternoon. And we are pretty much going to send everyone to their home territory, Martin. We start off in the south, we're going to head to the north, but we're straight through the middle of the map, which means everybody can generally get on the ground, get themselves geared. But the question is, will we see any crossovers through teams dropping in same identical loot locations?
Very interesting to see if we're going to have these contests off the bat. Obviously, there's multiple teams to look at right now. One of them I was looking at to begin with was actually Therapy, but it looks like there's going to be nothing there. Next one is kind of Yasnaya, and hopefully we're going to see some mix-up, some spice off the bat here. Obviously, it's a cup. We talked about it a few times. The Deathcast as well. Is a cup really the place to go to contest somewhere to prove a point? No, I don't think so. I definitely think adapting to a different loot spot compared to what you used to, instead of going to contest somewhere, maybe against a stronger team, I would feel like saying. Is that appropriate to saying, I feel like?
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. I think one of the bigger things that needs to happen, and this is just my personal opinion, you can feel free to happily correct me here.
Yes.
I think a few contender teams do need to respect that Pro League teams have their home turf, and Pro League teams are going to be strong individual fraggers and actual total units. So if you go challenging their grounds, they should be expected to get met with force at the end of the day.
I think that's a very good point, Sims. And I definitely think it's not worth it for any of these teams to go there, prove a point. And I talked with a few of the teams going into this, and they were like, yeah, well, we're not sure if we want to contest somewhere. There's a few of these spots open. There's definitely a lot of these spots open. I mean, Primorsk is open. Obviously, there's a few far away, but the Prison, the Povka split is kind of open, depending on how deep Force wants to go, kind of this half of the night split. There's definitely a lot of rooms kind of to play with the west, kind of the full west side split is also open. Pochinki, not so much. We're going to see Liquid there. Nobody's going to contest them. They're going to be happy being able to rotate early and come out of the kind of the loot spots, usually as fast as they kind of tend to. They're in a good spot here from the first circle, though.
C9 and 17 gaming. How fun was that to watch unfold? And you can start looking down the lines of what would have happened if Liquid would have gone elsewhere at the start of those games. There's, you know, what would have happened if they would have continued to contest. There's a million and one ifs and buts, but credit where credit's due. They played it out for as long as they dared possible, and at the end of the day, Europe owes them a great debt. They managed to secure one of the spots for Europe at the end of the year for for the main event, which is the big $2 million, what we used to know as PGI. It's going to be a fun one, I think, and being able to lock that down for Liquid, it was a damn good job, and it kind of sets a precedence and a stamp going forward to the big one at the end of the day, what we would associate as with Worlds. Yeah,
and honestly, I said it on the desk as well, and I think when Liquid came here, I think they should just have received a standing applause. I mean, they were the only one out of 4 teams to really contest with that top 3 and making sure that they brought that home. And obviously, there's a lot of depth in the European leagues, or the PEL, and it would be sad not to see them kind of to get that in. I'm happy to see the other regions also be able to clutch that and get that out. Shoot to kill, or former shoot to kill. Now Lazarus really clutched out. They're very close of winning themselves, but in the end, we got a spot for Europe.
I mean, we say it was Liquid. It was actually, to be fair, Purdy Curdy with a grenade at the end.
Oh,
but
yeah,
that's a different story altogether. Anyway.
Well, they had to win that. They had they fully unfold and everything. But
it's pretty scary to think that and I know we're talking about a completely different event here, and we shouldn't be, but everyone's just generally getting themselves together here. Not too much going on, so we're just having a recap of what's been going on. But again,
half of the top 4 teams here, they just came from there. So it's different pace. Yes, it's a cup. It's also this kind of same amount of teams, but it's different or same amount of games played. So I like that kind of idea of that's the same mindset you want to play. The Shaxi, though, he's going to find Pixel 1K from InsideGames. This is going to be the first victim of the day on Erangel for Group B.
So Circle comes in. It's just teetering towards the west, but we've still got a lot of land in play, so this should be easy pickings for all your teams. One player left in Severny for Quickmath up at the top. Needs to be careful of ENCE, going to be lingering on the back lines. Zoekt and Naam, 3D Max already on the move, so Yasnai will be empty if they want to rotate through it, but more than likely see them go through the cornfields on the back and then head up just past school and the apartment blocks. G2, usual space for them. We've seen in the past with G2 and TSM, now and again, it's very rare, but now and again they may set up on that eastern embankment and try and camp out a team. That's how... A couple of headshots there.
That's how you put that guy down.
That's how you take him out of a car and put him down in the grave. We go. Insta job done. Goes flying by on the back of the bike. AKM hammer down. Missa off the back. M24 in the grave.
Missa is definitely one of the players to look out for. So I hear so many people say this. Missa is insane. I heard the ENCE guys like, okay, he just turned 18. He's ready, and I'm just looking forward to see this guy really unfold. I hope these guys will make it into the grand final so he can really prove himself against some of these top teams. Roy, Gustav, Michael, and Rookie Boogie, they're going to be making their way in. They're looting Milta. They're going to be coming all the way in onto Potato. They usually take this rotation, but are they used to kind of having teams around there lingering? I'm not sure. We're going to see Zoekt and Naam there. They also usually take kind of this rotation coming out of their spot. To you, though, he's going to get an AUG and a full level 3 for that.
That'd be nice. The AUG. It's like the crate gun for the man who can't aim. Just for the simple fact that the kick on it is almost non-existent. It's just in a straight line.
It's really good.
It's such a drill. You can, especially if you want to like just push into a team. It does so much damage. It's like, okay, well, I'll take that. And now I actually look like I'm a god of aiming, but you don't really need to aim for that because it does it for you.
Yeah.
TSM, you mentioned this rotate. They'll be just south of Zoekt and Naam. So needs to be. He hit him at that range. Okay, straight through the trees. Why not?
Nice shots here from Apocalypse, from Foss. Shots at Foss face. He did some juking right there. He managed to survive, but he has 2 HP left. I'm not sure why he's running there though. Are they missing cars or what's happening here? There.
What?
I feel like he maybe looted the monkey compound, didn't get any cars.
There was a couple of them that they landed quite early. Well, I say early, short of Milta power, and they did take their time. I saw them on foot for quite some time, so I think Fuzz has just essentially stayed there. And being around the G2 kind of farmlands location below shelter. He needs to be careful because Foros will know exactly where he is and confirms it. Apocalypse flies around the back of him, and Fuzzface is down.
Very unfortunate here for FaZe Clan. A lot of other rotations coming in, and I'd like to see kind of the very congested compared to the other group we saw as well.
Something I do want to touch on, Martin, and we kind of just mentioned it about G2. We've seen in the past sometimes they'll set up essentially a blockade. They've done the same here. So they've taken that southern road along the yellows or the cliff face, if you want to call it.
Are they waiting for TSM, you think, or is this FaZe? Because FaZe is never taking that way.
No, which is we've seen that before. I think for them it's just kind of watch this embankment and see if anyone comes flying. Sometimes you get the odd northern team that want to rotate all the way down because they're petrified of going center.
I get you.
And they'll hit the road. And for G2, they have clipped a few kills, to be fair, off the back of this. You'll see teams that'll come maybe off of Milta, they'll actually take the beachhead. Well, they've got the beachhead locked down. It's a wide split, but still should be able to pick up a kill or two if a team does stupidly go that way.
And it's also not that far away from the center, so if they get a shift their direction, it's fine because they know there's going to be so many teams like close to Pochinki as well. As you see here on the map, look at that. Look how many teams congested it, but also look how greedy teams TSM split, Team Liquid split is. You have one of each of the tops of the hills in Pochinki, the two guys in the church. TSM already sent it to the center of Pochinki here, and I don't know if they're betting on it's going to be a Pochinki ending here, but
I love it how Liquid actually started in Pochinki, and now there's more teams in Pochinki than Liquid.
Yeah.
Stella, TSM, Zoekt and Naam in poor man's Pochinki just to the north. 3D Max also kicking around there.
Poor man's Pochinki?
That's what it basically is, just to the left-hand side of school. I mean, you go through... well, okay. Not too bad because you've obviously got the water in play down south.
Yeah.
So it's not too much of a hard shift. It is to us on the circle, but the water acts basically as a denial of area. So a lot of teams still kicking it around there. And you can see ENCE, they're like, well, it's been up north we're from, and we'll happily go back up there to the opposing side of the bridge. And they could kind of lock that down, to be fair, and sit and essentially deny anyone else access to the north unless they go past the left-hand bridge of Georgia Paul. Liquid have come back and regrouped, but they've now got to deal with 2 teams. Stellar and TSM are also kicking it.
Oh, they're actually just going to get these yellows for free? Okay. How Liquid of them. Ibiza, Samty, they're just going to chill. They're going to take this spot.
How Liquid of them.
Yeah, but this is typical because they're always that fast on rotations. They scout, they hear nobody shooting at them from the hills or anything. Jemty lost his wheel, and he's going to be like, James, I need to pick up. Not sure if he's... Oh, no, he's going to be able to stop it kind of easily. Yeah, he's going to be able to get him up and then push towards the yellows. Northern Lights, they're going to be pushing in here. Kane is already there, taking some shots at them. But it's only in the part of the compound, so they could definitely just take the bonds here. But it's not in a good spot. I mean, it's kind of off to it though. Udyr taking some shots.
Senix has just found Mitral in the kill feed. It wasn't a confirmation; it was only a knock. And playing off the back of this is over at Apps, just to the right-hand side of School. Is that going to be from up on Potato Hill? Yes, it is. He's going to be safe for now. It looks like he just got out of the back of that vehicle and essentially got bodied on arrival. Is Senix going to come down and confirm this one? I think he is. I mean, it's a free point, right? Why would you not? Foros is also still in School, so I'd assume this should be a very easy pickings. You wouldn't commit to trying to save anyone off the back of this because you're going to put more bodies in the floor.
FaZe, yeah, they're going to leave him here.
FaZe are actually kicking it around.
Rotations. They saw that only one player was up here in the castle, as some could call it. Santi was the only one there, but a lot of kind of support is coming in. And now they're taking this over. Quickmath is playing very confident compared to how young of a team they are, and they're kind of here to prove themselves. So happy to see they're coming in here with confidence. Also very comfortable in their position where they are. They're doing decent. They have 12 points so far in 2 games. 10 of them are kills. Are you kidding me? Is this actually happening? Is he able to?
How did he get to there?
He crawled all the way around.
All the way around.
And then just call the safe rest, and you know what we're gonna do. You gotta commit to those safe rest calls. You have to just go get him. If your teammate calls a safe rest, then you just gotta go.
I can't believe Senix didn't actually get him. Anyway, we'll talk about that one in a second. Free loot, just got a full face from Jemty with the AKM. James followed up with the Scat. That's job done. All 3 members of Liquid will fall back now. One of the players at 50% HP, so you don't want to try and engage that one again. That will just come off the back of the engagement that we saw. Firax just looking across at the yellows. You can hear the bullets flying, but finally catches a glimpse of a player. He's up. What's going to tap in mid-air? That's a warning shot, but now he's giving up the game. They know where he is over here, just by the back of the dismantled church.
Gotta appreciate the level of detail that Seekorg put into their logo. It's very nice. I like that.
Do you think this is like them telling people that they're searching for an organization?
That I would think so, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But also they're doing it with a star binoculars, or what do we call them? Star binoculars?
Oh yeah, one of them. Okay. Would that be a telescope, Martin?
Yeah, that would be a telescope. you know, it's very good to call it star binoculars, right? You know why?
Is that Danish?
It's the Danish way.
Is it? Okay. All right, no, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
That's why I gave it to you like that.
Don't worry, I'm from the north. I barely speak English as it is. Anyway, the rest of IG, they're going to hit the ditch because there is oncoming fire from both the yellows and behind them. Over at the backside of poor man's Pachinki, you'll have one player in that level 3 building. Is actually, oh god, this is going to be from Water Tower as well, the elevated line of sight. Who's just going to lay down the hammer? If I'd see he's got a nade in the position that they're in, now the smokes are up, it basically is just a magnet waiting to happen. Another random bullet, that's from Potato Hill, out of nowhere. Come on, I'd throw an absolute curveball up and over, and that should be 3 members of IG down if he does have one.
They have a lot of space here as well to work with, FaZe Clan, but later, it's going to be looking straight. Senix tried to make his way over. That's one, and now they know that there's another player on the other side. Squeaky, though, taking some shots at Uber, connecting a few, though. They're throwing nades over on the other side because they kind of have the information of FaZe Clan. Not connecting just yet.
Oh, look at this, though.
For us, is coming up on behind the FaZe Clan. This could be...
Question is, does Mexi have the info? If he holds point, well, he does now because they're taking shots of them. They come flying around the corner, catches one, where's the second, takes a turn on him, down he goes. Beautiful spray.
This is just Mexi in a nutshell. He is insane. How typical of him. This is what you like to see from Mexi. This is just the amount of mechanical skill this guy has is just so... It's insane.
There aren't many people who've essentially lost their roster because several times there's been several players taken from FaZe Clan and gone elsewhere.
And he just managed to build a new one again and again.
Builds it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, it takes a lot of, I think, mental capacity to be able to do that and not get down and just continue your game through. And as you say, to be allowed to peak up like that, that may be a downside on the players that he went up against, just not being able to respond quick enough.
Yeah.
Especially when one of them was just spinning around wondering what the hell happened. Pog set up, 2 points for FaZe Clan. Northern Lights, they'll continue forward and try and... This third vehicle will pay dividends. Oh, G2.
Ooh, nice nade here from Moon. He's going to try to finish off as well. Kanan, it's Chris is down. Kind of a rough start here for G2. Obviously, had a second place and 3 kills in the first game, but only 2 kills in the 16th place in the last game. So they're in a kind of a rough patch. They're still sitting there in the kind of the mid pack with 11 points, but rough start for them there. Jokers are pushing in there, already inside the zone, and we see a lot more happening right now. While this zone is going to be closing, and it's going to go away from water. It's phase number 4, and it's going to go very nicely down to the south.
This couldn't be more textbook, and there you go. Teams will read it well, and this is why, if you're wondering, TSM and STR haven't really moved from that position, you know that it's going to come away from water. That's why nobody's set up heavily in the north. It will pull south, and because you've got this kink in the river, it swings as hard south as humanly possible. Textbook, job done, still inside. TSM have got a battle of survival, though. There's Molman and Jambawade. Jambawade went absolutely clutch in the previous game. And this is a team that I'm quite excited to see what they can do here this week, because there's some very strong players. And more importantly, we know that one of them is going to be leaving after this.
Yeah.
In the form of Sigsy.
Going to ratio heads. He's going to be replaced by Vec.
So you want to, and he's a player in himself that I think is. I remember what he did when we cast Face It.
I joke exactly. I joked around with Sixy and said, "Yeah, that's a good upgrade. What a huge upgrade for the team." And he's looking at me. Of course, I'm joking. Sixy is an amazing player himself, but it's a replacement, and it's a good one. So like they're going to be managing. FaZe Clan here with the rotation. They're going to be going all the way around, trying to get one of these high ground positions near Pachinki. Great play from them. This is a FaZe Clan rotation I like to see. Wookie has gone down though, and Stella has gotten another kill. Meanwhile, we see Team Liquid just putting the hammer down of all these teams that are trying to get close.
There was a bit of a curse of the cast, though. You mentioned Sigsy, and before Wookie went down, he at least traded him out. So 1 for 1 there, but it still looks like numbers advantage in the hands of TSM. And again, Circle, they don't really have to worry. Oh dear, I tell you what they do have to worry about. FaZe Clan knocking on the door. They are teetering just to their right-hand side. Gustav will have called that one out. Rory's pushed up to the church side. The bullet's already been down. 3D Max. Hello, boys. Goodbye. Mid-air explosion. Easy 2 points for NLT. Squeaky now answers back to them, though. That's 2 of them down. Trafeli also opening up here. Blood Bro's gone. Wow. And you might have set a car on fire in mid-air. But I tell you what, ENCE have just taken you off the face of the planet. Good God.
They just put them down. Mika's still in a kind of the off angle. He's still staying in there. I'm not sure if it's for information or what's going on there, but it's definitely up to something. Mika's the in-game leader of ENCE. Now look at this. Oh, that's some nice fast shots there. Nate's going to come out. He's going to try to finish the knock. Probably going to confirm the kill there. Maybe went a bit too far. Yeah, it did. So Squeak is still up, and now shots are coming in from Mikas. Look at this. So they're really encroaching on them. Yep.
That's beautiful. To see him through the window there. Puts him now on red alert. One of the players hits the bridge side. Mikas doesn't quite expect it. Maybe didn't realize there were more than multiple people up here. The off angle does catch him off guard as he's on back rotate. Rustum Matt opts to go for a new position. They will smoke this one. It's dangerous in my opinion. They're going for the... I love this. Okay, so that's a fake smoke to the left-hand side. Excuse me, it's their right-hand side. And now they're that's a beautiful little IQ play there. Jumping over for Rax. Teamy comes down the corner. Shoulder peeks him. Job done. Winstrike's gone. Sunzi answers back here. And all of a sudden, Seekorg, well, they're seeking points and they find Winstrike, put them in the grave. But they've been damaged themselves. They're down to 2 players. Look at Uber's angle. This is... I wanted to touch on this earlier on. This is really annoying if you're TSM because you know you've not finished off for the fight that you're already taking against Stellar. And now you've basically just got FaZe poking continuously and being a nuisance. You can't really get anything going here in that fight.
No, and coming out of this as well, we saw the circle shift. It shifted towards the north, putting Quickmath, easy for ENCE. Liquid in a good spot as well. InsideGames is still in there. Seekorg is in there, but this is the fight we're gonna look at. We're looking at 2 fights right now. I like seeing this. Rostenmar's gonna be pushing up. It end up losing Mikas.
This is awful.
This is not good. They're just holding them out. Shots are coming out though. TSM fighting. Australia is gonna get down Rostenmar.
Finally get one as they try to breach the building. I still want to talk about how damn good that fake smoke was. Rory finds Mexi. Didn't realize they were up close and personal. There is an answer back though. ENCE continuously takes 2 of them out just like that. Rostenmar finally confirmed. TSM, RIP, they're down and dead. ENCE goes through and bangs all 3 of them out back to back. Job done, and now they have to face off the remnants of Stella. The thing is, of Stella,
are they aware though?
I would literally exactly about to say that, Martin. Stella have kind of bided their time and haven't got involved here. FaZe might not have any idea.
Oh, they are. ENCE backing away, just looking at it. Jump away, he's going to take some shots. ENCE with a 1v3 on TSM, and now he's looking to finish off the remnants of Stella.
That nade's good.
That's a good nade.
Force him down at least.
Oh, that made so much damage there, down to 10 and 20 HP or something like that. I still see this ENCE kind of standoff with InsideGames. Meanwhile, for us, they have put themselves in a position to really finish up and mob off the rest of the guys once they're finished. That's a nice nade. Oh my god,
they got two at once. They went up and over with one on the left-hand side and then hit the other one through the back.
That's insane.
That's perfect timing.
That was a great nade. NBS though goes down. Malman's going to take down ENCE, and FaZe Clan's out in 10th. Unfortunate for them. Stella managed to clutch this. Very good for them. Page managed to mob up Uber meanwhile, and Sen have been kind of, or Zoekt and Naam, they've been kind of in a spot to just passively play this out. They have a good spot. They're playing the eastern side. Quickmath, they're now in a position to just move on top of this hill here on the ruins side, but NIP could move on the back. Team Liquid could move in and kind of take a position from that, and we're going to be having a very nice, like, centered position on this kind of the hill that splits everything in a star-like position where you can have so many teams kind of accommodated around these areas. Jokers are still alive. Malman on the south as well.
Oh, Samty's got an arm as well. You mentioned Malman. Curse of the customer, and you're killing players all over here today, dude. Ivor sees him. K9 comes through. Job done. Bye-bye, Malman. Tab just going to heal off this one. D's pre-nading if anyone's kicking it. If he sees... If he'd have seen him through that little porthole, that would have been amazing. Still nothing happening over here. 2-on-2.
This is a standoff for...
The thing is, in my opinion, once you've done this, for the simple fact of where further afield, I think it's Quickmath setting up. Once you're out of this fight and done, the pressure here comes through. There's one, confirmed. And now all of a sudden, it comes down to the 1 versus 1. Squeaky waits patiently, comes around the corner. Aggressive push.
Oh, Squeaky.
Not today, my friend. He'll get the res here, but I was talking about Quickmath, Martin. They'll have heard this, and they're lingering on the mountainside just beyond them. And also, Foros is there too. So how they get out of this one now is beyond me. Meanwhile, Team Liquid have gone for the biggest split I've ever seen. They've literally sent Jeems to the middle of the map.
Squeaky made his way out here, and I'm not sure if they're aware of these 4 Oz guys because they have been very sneaky throughout this. This could end up hurting ENCE a lot, but they're going to obviously be scouting their way in. Meanwhile, Dees has been found by Ivor. I was going to take him down. Jokers is going to go down in 7th position. And now the rotation comes in. They're going to be rotating on the northern side, completely avoiding for us. That's a great play. Also where their most cover is available to them with this kind of hilly area. NIP still inside the zone. They are holding kind of the last parts of ruins down. Apocalypse is going to find Trifly anyway. Trifly is going to be completely finished off. Shaxi also by ENCE. ENCE is going to be finished off. Now Squeaky is the last player for ENCE. He's going to make his way in. Samty is going to be found by Zoekt and Naam. And NIP with some nades as well.
However, Jeems is up on top. He'll have the point of view. Grenade comes out. It's cooked. Can it be clean? Up and over we go. How far will it actually roll? 2 are down on the backside. You might not have realized they've pushed up further. He'll wait for the footsteps. That nade is looking good. There's vehicles that could do so much damage. There's the first one. Page is going in for a very dangerous res, in my opinion. Any more nades will confirm pretty much Zoekt and Naam's position in this game. However, Vaxu giving away the ghost now. He needs to push this one because Jeems will reposition. And go for the initial kill. Squeaky finally caught. Oh. And there you go. The repeat, the reposition. Jeem says, thank you very much for showing your face. I'll take the free kill. Page now has to go one-on-one versus Jempty. Ival still all tanked up. Jempty hits the deck. Ival tries to follow up with a grenade. The smokes. He might just catch a glimpse while he's rezzing here. Not rezzing, excuse me. Healing. Now where's Page? Because Jeems at the moment is a one-man wrecking ball. And he continue it out. Page steps up. No helmet. Page. No problem, though. Page saves the day.
Page being able to clutch this up is a big win for them. They're going to be in the top 4. They're going to be collecting all 4 points because they were also the one to kind of knock all of these players down. NIP still with 3 guys standing and 6 kills. Then a good spot. NIP has sent one of their players off to kind of an off angle on the western side. It's Miraku kind of trying to get a new angle on Quickmath, making sure that they can kind of clutch this together. Pelt's also in an off angle, kind of defending that. But Page, they're going to be able to get him up. And Ival, they're going to be standing, and they're going to be coming in very nicely into the zone all by themselves. For us, still with Apocalypse alive, though, he's going to be just sneaking in now.
NIP playing a quiet game at the moment, just on the edge and being patient. I'm okay with it. They've got a fair amount of ground to make, and everyone's central on their position. Yeah, definitely. That shoulder peak can tell me they spot him, and all of a sudden, Enzo spins around in a pinhead. So definitely the call comes through, moves to the SLR, and that's fine. Looks like there's going to be a comp on the back of that bad boy with an 8-time as well, so it's going to do some damage. Should he find a skull or 2? Where's the rest of his teammates perpendicular to him? Okay, so they can set up some kind of bottleneck here. If they somehow manage to get Quickmath to focus fire onto Miraku, the rest of NIP will be able to have a bit of breathing room to move in on this one.
Miraku is able to relay so much information to his team here. They want to take more ground, but they are aware they're not going to be able to take it there because Quickmath completely holding him off. So they can maybe swing around a little bit, take a bit more ground on the western side. Meanwhile, Zoekt and Naam, they are taking more and more space in the south. Apocalypse, he's coming over this little space, and he might have to fight Quickmath here. So Lenzo Mise looks like to have some information based on how kind of their movement, have an idea that there's players over here in that direction. Obviously, they heard that there's fighting over there going on. Shit's been found. Apocalypse down to nothing, and Len's going to finish him off. They're going to go down in 4th place for us. Now we have 3 teams standing. 3 players on Quickmath, 2 on Zoekt and Naam, and 3 on NIP.
Quickmath needs to be careful that they don't overcommit to NIP, though.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Zen come over this, especially with Ival, a man who, right from back in the days of DreamHack, I remember when he actually played against you, everyone were laughing at him using the SKS, but the man can land shots at distance. He's an individual fragger and a ranger in his own light. Miraku will open up onto Quickmath, and again, this will focus the conversation his way.
Ooh, this could be the opening that Zoekt and Naam need, as you said. We'll see. Gaxy's going to take down Pels, and this is going to be rough for Quickmath because they're going to be in the middle of this grinder. 2 teams just moving in on them, encroaching, but Gaxy pushing. It's going to be finished off as well. This is not what NIP needed. Gaxy was forced to do it, though. Someone was moving in slowly soon, or starting to move in slowly.
Literally no, even within a second of taking that kill, you just see the red dot switched out.
Yeah.
Bang, 3 times is gone. And now you just nangy yourself on the back of the hillside, hoping that a player comes peeking around the corner so you can just laser the life out of him. Quickmath still looking for these other players that they've not yet shown their hand. They'll have a rough guesstimate of where they're going to be, but no confirmation yet. Ival still peeking with the K9. And again, that gun's going to make a lot of noise and ring a lot of bells. Does have the AR in hand, goes for the shots, and now the alarm bell has been rung. Long-balled nade.
Ooh, that's a good roll right there.
It's done some damage. There's a second one to follow up as well. God, if that had gone any further. But there is going to be one handing back their way. And at the moment, there's still a little bit of time to play this from different angles.
Look at this VAR taking so much space, putting himself in the center. He knows that the Sona is obviously from phase 8 to phase 9. It's going to go center. 10 seconds until it starts moving. And now Zoekt and Naam and Quickmath, they're going to be forced to fight here soon. Pels is in a kind of an off-angle spot, trying to put some pressure onto these guys. He's fully aware of their location, And now he can take more space. He's going to be able to walk. If he gets this ledge, he's going to be able to walk on top of them. Mise, though, also some shots onto Page. Connecting just a few. And, oh, Rivals connecting and returning that fight. That's a very important right there. He's going to be able to heal up as well.
This is a questionable heal, especially when the blue's so deadly and on the back. You've got to push now, Ival. You've got to go for it. There's no room for error here, buddy. If you go, you'll catch him off guard. Blue's up against the back. 1 versus 2. The support player's there. There is an answer. Misa finds him. Zone confirms him. Job done. Ival will continue the push up here. I'll tell you what, Zoekt and Naam are doing pretty well. He confirms it. They're going to continue this one. How much health does he really have, though? The blue will push him again. There's no real time to talk. There's no time to breathe. NIP have just been really clever in this one. They took center stance. Quickmath's gone.
This is great for them.
All they've got to do now is find Ival. Job done. They're gone as well. NIP. Big GG.
Clinical movement all the way around them, putting themselves into position, waiting for the third party, Vard going into the center, making sure that they had the upper hand going into the last phase. And then these two teams, they were forced to take a fight, and they could just wait for them to be pushed out, get all the kills. 9 kills here in total. They were in a rough spot in the ruins. We saw that in the kind of the mid stage of the game. They had to get some nades, they lost NBS, but managed to clutch it out in the end here with 9 kills. What a great play from NIP.
It's all about reading the lay of the land at that point. I mean, you kind of touched on it, where that area, it's kind of like a mountain with all the spines and fins that fly off of the main point. And for NIP, you can read that. You know where the shots are coming from. You know where the fights are going to be. So that's fine. There's no one going to be behind you. So there's an opportunity here to take the central location. Everyone has to be forced basically before you. So you just stand your ground, hold your gun point, look down the barrel, and basically await them, which is what they did. It was patient. Job done, gets them the win, gets them 10 points, plus the kills as well. So, fair amount in the bag. Where were they coming into this? They were 10. They've had let's have a look at their position so far. So that's, well, they just got more points in one game than what they had in 2. So they'll be happy with that. That'll send them up the leaderboards a little bit. One more game of Erangel. Any standout performances or standout players for you in that game at all?
Definitely happy to see Quickmath and Zoekt and Naam to kind of step it up here in Erangel. Quickmath with 3 guys live towards the end. They could have done more with that, I feel like. They could have been a bit more aggressive towards the end. They had a lot of information on NIP. Zoekt and Naam also played it very well. I like the kind of the clinical approach. Unfortunately, they lost 2 players to the Liquid. If they had 4 guys alive there towards the end, they could definitely completely wiped out the whole Quickmath team and took a lot more space than they did, especially with the knock. The reason why Zoekt and Naam did not push when NIP got a knock on them was because there were only 2 guys. Then you want to salvage and third party the last fight instead of pushing onto that. If there were 4 guys alive, they were going to completely wipe Quickmath that once they got the knock.
What do you think to Liquid splitting up so heavily going into that last kind of vertical? I mean,
it paid off quite well for a long time.
James was central, wasn't it? But he was on his own. So once you get knocked in that position, like Jempty did, for example, there's really no res from it.
I feel like they had so much space in the middle of the game, and that they kept taking it until they got punished from it. So they're going to learn from this. Okay, so this is kind of where they're feeling it out. I feel like here in the first day, they're making sure to get information how broad and how wide they can play in kind of the style, because they're definitely playing wider than they usually are. More greedy splits. You saw they easily rotated into the yellow buildings, and this is just, as I said, this is how Liquid offer them. Just this being open, them rotating that fast, and just being able to just take that was just very, very impressive.
I think there's a lot to be said in this game sometimes for map control, and even to the point where we're watching, I think it was Miraku's POV, just holding that point and not going for the kills, not going for the sprays or nothing.
Yeah.
Just feeding so much information and relaying that back to your teammates. And then you have the IGL who can collate all that info and say, okay, this is how we're going to break this one down. This is how we're going to do it. I mean, from Quickmath, maybe if you're going to be really critical, you could have said they could have kept NIP at check and at bay a little bit more. Hey, it's all hindsight. Anything can happen, but I believe we're down on the stage now with NIP themselves in an interview with Parla.
Thank you, Rich. Now, this is something I'm very used to, talking to a member of Ninjas in Pyjamas. I'm here with NBS. Now, in the first match of the day, you came in last place. Here, you've got first. How does it feel to be building into today?
It feels really good. Like, we start on Miramar, and like when we played in London, we had really rough Miramar games. So when we had only like 2-point game and 16th place in the first game, it was like a little bit worrying. But then the second Miramar game was kind of decent, and now we won. So yeah, it feels actually good. It takes like some pressure off the shoulders.
Indeed. Is there anything that you guys went away and talked about? Why is it that you've increased your placement on each of the 3 maps today?
I mean, I guess we like adapted a little bit because like this tournament, like a lot of new teams clash together, like teams from Contenders playing like teams from Pro League, and you never know, like when you throw different mixes of teams into the lobby, always the game is different, so it takes a little bit of time, and I think we're pretty good on adapting, so probably that's what makes it like happen.
Going back to the start of this 3rd match, your first of the day on Erangel, it looked like you had quite a bit of freedom with your looting. Just tell me about the strategy going into the early game.
Basically, the plane was kind of middle of the map, like south to north, and we loot like South George, which is like west side of the map, and there's only like really one team that loots close to us, like in North George. So like everything south of us was kind of free, and then like we chose to play from west side, which like is more free because we know that like nobody really loots around us. And then like the circles keep going like back and forth, but we kept like finding a spot in the zone and like splitting, like keeping people away from like just basically playing edge zone control basically all game long. That was like what gave us the win.
Do you guys feel you're a team that's most suited to playing on the edge, or do you sometimes like to be in the center?
Oh, we do it like differently. It really depends where the zone is and like where the circles go. Like I think we're really like universal.
Looking at the end of the match now, it seemed like you and Liquid had quite good power positions. And when there, I think were about 6 or 7 teams left. You were holed up in a building. They were as well. What were your team thinking at the time? Were you happy with how it was going? Were you feeling like you could get the victory at that point?
I mean, at the point when we had the double white houses, like west of Liquid, it wasn't really good because we knew that it doesn't matter where the zone goes, we still have to either push Liquid or go around them. But luckily, I think we got probably the best zone that we could have hoped for. It went like into ruins, and we had like a free passage into ruins, and then like we just played from ruins all game, like in the end game, and it actually like worked out.
And then at the very end of the match, before you closed things out, it looked like Zen were trying to throw a bit of a spanner in the works, distracting you, but you pulled through and then you managed to, completely close things out. What exactly was happening right at the end of the match?
It was kind of tough when it was, I think, like 4 teams alive, like around 10 to 15 people, because Quickmath were holding us really tight. But then once the circle like got smaller and it was like Zen and some other team fighting, and it like opened up basically like half of the circle to us, and we saw that like nobody's like holding us, so we like took a lot of control. And then in the end, when it was I think 6 or 9 alive, it was actually still 4 teams, and we didn't really know that it was 4 teams. We still thought Liquid was alive, which they weren't. Like we didn't really keep good track of like who was alive and who's not. But luckily in the end, we had like half of the circle, and all the teams were like on the other side, and like they had to fight each other before they just run into open, and we just killed them for free.
I know even when we're watching things backstage and trying to analyze, it can be difficult to find a team story throughout. When you guys are in game, is it, as you've just said, quite difficult to sometimes know which teams are alive, which ones aren't?
I mean, most of the time it's not, but sometimes when you're like fighting and it's really high pressure like all the time, then yeah, it's hard because you don't really have time to like track the kill feed. If you have like a compound in a good zone and you have more freedom, like more free time, then it's like more easy because you have more time. But like this game, we're like moving every zone. We had to change positions, like to fight our way into the zone. So I guess that's why like we didn't really had like a good track in the end. But I mean, like it worked out anyways. So.
Indeed, it's just interesting. I know at the start I was kind of focused in on ENCE and IG, and you guys ended up just pulling through the entire matchup. So I think it definitely gives credit to you guys match there, and a big congratulations to you and the team.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we have one more match to go today. Do not go anywhere. Let's head back to the desk.
That's right, NIP gets themselves the victory there after going from strength to strength, despite it being Miramar, not exactly their preferred home, but on Erangel, they show up and show us the chicken dinner. Welcome back to the analysis desk as we take a look at the highlights here from our first Erangel match of Group B. We have Froz and we have Mustache Dave. Guys, NIP there, looking strong, as you say, going from strength to strength, very powerful.
I mean, looking strong. They played a pretty good, I'd say. One thing was that Gaxi got caught out in the open there in the end when he did that push.
Yeah.
But I think it was a legit push at the same time because he got that knock. He knew that the other guy was going to go for a rest. What he didn't expect was the third guy to peek him with cover from Mirku.
Yeah, you heard there in the interview, NBS mentioning how them and Quickmath were fighting pretty much that whole game. That goes all the way back to when they pushed into the ruins. Quickmath was there sharing it with another team, Orglis as well. Quickmath moving out early on, leaving the fight between Orglis or Seekorg and
You're not wrong.
Seekorg and Ninjas in Pyjamas to fight each other back and forth. So we saw those nice grenades coming from them, and then in the end, ending up in a fight once again.
Definitely. Let's take a look at some of the kills as well coming in. FaZe got themselves a few kills during this game.
Sorry, FaZe?
FaZe.
Yeah.
FaZe.
FaZe up.
I mean, they had some hard, kind of a rough start there. They lost first FaZe early on in the game. They were still rotating in the blue. But they got themselves into a good position rotating up towards Razak, and they managed to pick kill after kill, and we saw Mexi with a nice 2 versus 1 clutch here at the Warrior Tower Hill as well.
This was funny right here. ENCE, they went out to push out to kill
your guys.
My guys. And when they came back, though, InsideGames, they took their positioning and forced them to pretty much fight it out. Pretty sneaky move.
Sneaky, and getting down to some of the final moments as well here during this game as it played out. Still a lot of crossfire, a lot of third partying going down on those edge teams. It felt very, very open in some of those areas, very, very open with the terrain. So very difficult to play some of those edge positions, as you see, like Joker's getting tacked down, FaZe getting tacked down, etc.
This is a turning point right here, in my opinion, from Zoekt Naam. When Team Liquid, they started making that push. It was Semty. He was in the south. He got caught out. He was the first one. And then James came to provide that support. He tossed a grenade. He got a knock. And then him and Abiza started pushing. But then we saw, or we're going to see here, the 1v1 versus Page. And Page winning that fight, allowing Page to get the revive on, who did he get the revive on? Ivil, and then they pushed on into the late game to get second place with 9 kills.
It was a pretty impressive counter rebuttal to what we saw there. With Team Liquid actually being caught off guard by Zoekt Naam, and I thought Team Liquid were going to win that fight, but it was all for naught.
Especially with James and his grenades. I mean, he was looking good.
I mean, that is the strength of Liquid, right? When they are committed, when they are determined that they're going to take a fight, they're going to go full force into that. You saw James getting himself a knock in the beginning, continuing, following that up with some nades, and they keep on pushing there. Like, they don't give up. They know that, okay, we're committed. We're going to take this fight. Either we lose it or we win it. It doesn't matter. We're going to try to rack up as many points as we can. And if they won that fight, they would have been so good because the whole south side would be clear for them.
And so let's take a look at the points that are rolling in. G2, unfortunately for them, get 0 points. Likewise, so do Winstrike. Seekorg get themselves a 9th place finish after Avenger was completely bamboozled and baffled by their logo and was very keen to analyze every single aspect of it. They get 4 points for themselves. Let's take a look at our 1 through 8th as well, as we see 19 points coming in for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Zoekt Naam get themselves a cool 15 points as well, with Quickmaths doing the 5 + 6 = 11 for them up towards 3rd place, boys. You liked that? Yeah?
I don't know.
All right. For us is actually a team that has not done too badly here throughout the day as well, with a 3rd place, then 9th place, and then getting themselves a 4th place here throughout the day for us.
Yes, but at the same time, they are lacking in the kills right now. They are still on, they're still on 1 digit. They're not on double digit yet, and we're 3 games in. I mean, you want to see an average of getting yourself a 6 to 7 kills per game.
Yeah, and right now, I know it's only day 1. We got 1 more game to go. They're in 8th place. So they're right on that cusp. If they can maintain that position or stay within that range, that's all that matters here in the first 3 days. They need top 8 to make it to the last 3 days for the money.
It feels like that for us here currently, with them effectively playing kind of more for placement than kills, they're looking to, if they continue to do that, just make it, just kind of be middle of the pack. That's a
you don't want to be in the middle pack. That's so rough coming into the last games, because now if you come into the last game, you're in the middle pack. You know someone's close just behind you. You're terrified, and you start counting the points of the other teams that are just below you.
Quickmath.
You're like, oh, they got a kill there, they got a kill there, now we got to get these many kills. And that's going to get stuck in your brain, and you're going to be focusing on that instead of your game.
Not only that, we see every single tournament almost, it come down to just 1 point. And that 1 point is what changes it, and we saw Winstrike make it to face it off of 1 point. So every point matters here. You got to do what you can do every single game, and like Frost said, get those kills, get those placements. Don't be in the middle of the pack.
Don't be in the middle of the pack. Well, gentlemen, it's time for a short break once again. But when we return, we're going to have our final game of the day. It will be Erangel, and it will be Group B here for the PEL Kick-Off Cup. See you in a sec. Welcome back. One final game here for the PEL Kick-Off Cup. Day number 1, of course, as we do have Erangel going to be the map here for Group B. My name's Kyle Laris, your desk host, and to my left-hand side, I have Froz and I have Mustache Dave. Boys, we have more to come here in terms of this. Oh, that's a lot of interesting things going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was crazy. So we have a lot of interesting things going on in terms of what we have here for Erangel. Guys, what are your kind of things that you want to take away from our first game of Erangel and apply them to our next game of Erangel?
NIP won the game.
That's true. However, do you think that they could do the back-to-back?
No.
Okay, well, that was... What about you, Dave? Any thoughts?
ENCE, they're being, not their normal selves, in my opinion.
Okay.
We saw them last game. They had the compound. They pushed out to get 2 kills. And then, like I mentioned, their compound was taken up. Is this something that we would have seen them do in PEL last season? I'm not too sure of. Would we have seen them fight in the blue, as we saw them game number 1 here on Miramar? I'm also not too sure of. So I don't know if ENCE are just trying out new things. I mean, in my opinion, they're not playing themselves here today for us. Maybe they're just putting out their feelers, trying to see what the lobby does and how they react. I mean, currently, they're not looking too bad as far as placements go, right? They're in 6th place. So top 8's all that matters, as we're talking about here.
I'm going to count you on this.
Yeah, I expected that. Not surprised.
Here we go. Here we go.
I think we would have expected ENCE to do the same thing in PL phase 1.
Fight in the blue.
Yes. The thing is, what's happening right now is, look at what teams they're fighting. It's not the PL teams.
3D Max, yeah, InsideGames,
Yes.
Northern Lights.
It's the Contenders teams that is doing things that ENCE is not, they're not expecting
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And that's why they're in this kind of situations and why they end up taking these fights that you think you wouldn't see ENCE normally, but we see them doing right now.
I do like the rotations, though. We saw this previous game. They used that west bridge. They knew the north was clear, and they worked all the way to Sunken City. They were in Sunken City for some time, had a nice little spot there. Doing a really good job with rotations, at least.
I mean, that's something we normally see ENCE do as well. Like, they play it very smart. They know exactly where the team should be, where they shouldn't be. They knew that the north was going to be totally open for them. Ooh, do we see the play path?
No. That's one thing I like about Team Liquid, by the way. They got 17 here. 17, he has a military background, so he's super strict with the guys. He doesn't allow them to use their phones on the break. He makes sure that they sit at their computers until they go over the VOD before they go out and take their break. Very disciplined, very disciplined, and I like what he brings to the team. I think he has definitely helped them since his arrival.
Yeah, definitely so. I think you were mentioning, I think in phase
Coaches.
1, that Jemty and Samty were a bit kind of chaotic up until the point where they were reined in a little bit.
Yeah, so, I mean, we all knew that Samty and Jemty had issues playing with each other. That's how they split up in the first place, because starting with PUBG, they started playing together in the team called Sauna Boys back in the days. They split up because they couldn't handle each other.
Yeah.
They were just fighting constantly. Same thing happened when Jemty joined Liquid later on from FaZe. But after 17 came in, 17 helped them work that out, and it's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
41 points at the moment, 4 Team Liquid up at the top, and they've taken quite the sizable lead over the 2nd place. And I mean, kudos to them. They got themselves a 1st place, a 5th place, and then a 5th place. So not too shabby in the slightest as Ninjas in Pyjamas, with that win that they just managed to secure themselves, have now pushed themselves up to 2nd place. However, do bear in mind that the top 8 placements are the most important factor here for our group stage, as all, 6.4K.
Keep racking it up.
The top 8 from each of our groups, of course, will be moving on into the grand final, which is the last 3 days of the tournament here for the Kick-Off Cup. That's a lot of damage points. That's a lot of damage.
Hey, good for them. I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job here. 25 kills so far.
I mean, it shows in terms of almost the craziness of how much damage they're doing beyond the kills that they're getting. Because if you look at NIP, 2.9K with 17 kills, 25 kills with 6.4K. So they're contributing damage all across this lobby, regardless of getting the kills or not.
But also, look at this, FaZe they have 20 kills right now.
Yeah.
And we've seen FaZe rack up a lot of kills. They got 25 points, which means only 5 points are placement points, 20 from kills.
Yeah.
And that is what they're lacking right now. If they can get a little bit more placement points, they're also going to rack up more kill points.
1 point behind Stellar. So
1 point behind. And they did get themselves chicken dinner. They did Stellar here, as you can see in that 2nd game on Miramar. We have 1 more game to go. Again, you're living in the future.
You brought up there's a trend going on here today with the chickens.
Yes, actually, that's a good point. Thank you very much, Dave. So far, we've had PEL winner, Contenders winner, PEL winner, Contenders winner, PEL winner, Contenders winner, PEL winner. So,
all day.
By that logic, do we have another Contenders winner, Mr. Froz?
No.
By that logic, you have to be with that logic, man. Come
that
on.
That logic
Super
is
logic.
going to be broken now. You want to know who's going to win the next game?
Who?
All right, wait. Okay, I kind of said
You just said
If
FaZe.
yeah, FaZe.
I was going to
FaZe.
say Dave. Dave. All right, FaZe is going to win the next game. What do you think, Dave?
I don't think so.
All right.
Okay,
You want
then,
to collaborate on that?
You're wrong.
All right.
You must
That's
have a
what you've
team.
been doing to me all day. I'm going to go with Zoekt and Naam, though, thinking with that same trend. I mean, they just got a 2nd place with 9 kills. Obviously, Miramar hasn't been their forte here today, but on Erangel, their performance, I am impressed.
Okay. Off the 1 game.
Off the 1 game,
Or you mean
I am
Contenders
impressed.
as well?
As well as Contenders. Thank you.
Okay, I like that. Just currently looking InsideGames at the moment. And what have you made of their campaign so far here, Froz? Any thoughts?
Not too much from them, honestly.
Not too much? Okay.
They haven't showed us anything to actually put on the table yet, I'd say. We're still looking out, trying to find something, but I haven't found anything.
Have you played Super Mario Odyssey on the Switch?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. Because if you had a white top hat on right now, you could look exactly like Mario getting married. It would be great.
Right, so that's what you got from me talking about InsideGames.
Yes, thank you very much. You know, it's inside another game. Anyway, it's time now to go into our final game of the day here, and it will be on Erangel once again. And guys, get hyped, get ready. The lights are hyped, the lights are ready, as we're going to the final game here for Group B, for day number 1, for the PEL Kick-Off Cup. And it is going to be...
James is so damn hyped. I'm hyped because James is hyped. That's it. You know, Erangel, great map, good teams, love some PUBG, but just James and the desk. That's it. What are you excited about, Richard?
It's the same flight path as previous. It's really nice.
Why is it really nice, Richard?
Because everyone can go home.
We all want that. We
I wasn't hinting towards that, but it's fine.
It wasn't even subtle. Okay, last game of the day. So we've had a good warm-up. We've had that wonderful back-and-forth contenders showing ability and all that lovely stuff that makes it seem like they've got a chance. But do they really? Or is it going to be Team Liquid again? Who's it going to be, Richard? Give me a prediction. Just show in the dark. Because everyone loves predictions because they're so valuable.
I think NiP are going to do a back-to-back.
You think NiP?
Yeah, because it's the same flight path.
Do you reckon it's the flight path, not the circle, that helped them?
Yes. It's really close to Georgia Paul.
Okay. I love that.
Anyway.
Do you know what? If I'm going to ask you such an irrelevant question about a prediction, you might as well give me an irrelevant answer.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
We just need to go for it, don't we? We
Yeah.
just need to own it. Anyway, yeah, looking, being serious here, it's going to be kind of... Oh, actually, you know what? I stand completely corrected because where the hell are FaZe going? What in God's name are they doing?
Has the breeze taken them the wrong way? Is this a new mechanic in PUBG? Has it flown them?
So clearly this didn't phase them as good as last time. This time it pays off. And am I seeing a replica game here?
Have they put on the replay? Is this what's happened?
Like, what is happening? This is almost identical. Playing path, circle, except FaZe is in the most weird and wonderful spot I've ever seen them. Are they going to go take Prim because it's open?
They're fighting for it. It's not just them going down there. If you look at the map, you do have another team en route on that southern coast.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Why are they not going Milt? Why?
I don't know if the rotation paths they've been taking simply do not work out. I do not understand. That hopefully will be a question we can get
have to go
either
to
from the desk. I'd love the desk to go and find one of their coaches if they can just DM them or get a hold of them and be like, what is this choice going on here? Because that is very different.
Luke, give me answers immediately.
Please, Mr. Luke. He used to play COD 4. He was in a team with Machine.
I mean, to be fair, they are advertising for an analyst, and maybe they need it after this rotation. It's questionable.
Oof. Oof.
I don't know what they're doing. I legit don't know what they're doing. I'm intrigued. This could be a very smart play, unless I just don't know. I'll leave it up to the chat. Feel free to hit me with the knowledge bomb, if you will. I suppose in the last one, you know what? Actually, what I'm going to say is
go on then.
Vehicles.
Vehicles.
Yes. Because we've seen them.
Not a bad shout.
We've seen them. Actually, we've seen TSM several times struggle with vehicles because you have 3 teams all lingering around this same area. G2, TSM might be fighting for vehicles, and the fact that they're actually getting them off the back of them. 4 us, is also just to the north of where FaZe would essentially come down off the back of that one. With the flight path being so central, it does make, I suppose, Milter Power just out of reaching distance. You could long drop it, but by the time you get down there, TSM are going to have guns and might just push you with vehicles.
Yeah.
But that's going to be my best guess.
No, I'm committed to you. With
Either
that.
way, it's nice to switch things up a little bit. I like it.
I actually like seeing teams being willing to change as well. We've seen this for so long, this kind of headstrong attitude of teams going, this is our drop, we will not move here, doesn't matter if anyone else drops here, we are going to just go for it no matter what. I like seeing versatility. It makes me think that these teams have so much more strength if they do have that versatility and variety. We've already seen teams losing out, especially at the FaZe Global Summit. That was, such a huge talking point where these teams were just over and over and over and over and over until it potentially pushed them out of the tournament. Now, all of that aside, I like seeing that teams have this versatility because obviously they played the game, there's no dispute. We all know that. I don't need to sit there and baby feed you this sort of information, but it's the loot routes that always keep, in the back of my mind. How prevalent is the loot here? Can they get the same sort of gear that they are used to working with? Or are they happy enough kind of working with maybe potentially less? Anyway, that's something for down the line, and I'm sure you guys are sick to death of hearing us talk about it because you've missed so much action otherwise with 16 teams and 64 players alive.
3D Max is starting to creep out of Yasnaya. We'll see 3 players as we do sweep across this city. One of them is going to be Fan, has just weighed his way out to the opposing side. I think he's been copped, though, by the back end of Stella. There is one player in the form of Sigzy who may have seen him. TSM needs to be careful as they leave Milta. You'll see G2 very shortly. Just to their left-hand side to the farmlands, their usual loot location. It's happy, it's free, there's no one going to be approaching them or doing any kind of damage, so they can just linger inside on the edge of the circle, maybe play a border control here. For us as well, if they come down from the south, this puts TSM in a really awkward position. They'd have to go for a wide rotation, maybe go out towards the east into the blue and try and hit this one more from a northerly angle. For FaZe Clan, though, I'd expect them now to have vehicles. It's a really very heavily split scenario they have at the moment. And again, probably vehicles. I have seen some already for FaZe, so you'd expect them being so split. There's going to be all these individual compounds and little mini areas they can pick up a fair amount of gear, and with the settings that we're playing, they're going to be even better and bolstered with guns and gear, so they should be absolutely fine. Loot. And all of a sudden you see the green machine in play. AWM, 300 rounds, tac stock, why not? And the level 3s, which is the most important in that crate.
No one's really that near to it, though. That's the one thing. There is actually no one particularly close by to that. People could get there, but we see the first couple of bullets being fired, and actually that's a bit of a problem. Already losing out on one. Swift pickup for Stella. That was just delivered. Uber Eats is here. Come get your meal. It's a real swift pickup there. No chance for response either. They are up in the hills. There's a chance for a shot or two, but they do have hard cover to fall back to. It's not too much of a threat. So you can see the other side peel back off towards the northern sunken city, and Stella do get to maintain position.
I think if my pizza in the back of that vehicle, I'll be upset because that thing span completely out of control as he hit the tree line, just flipped on a 180. Jambaway still looking. I mean, it's really scary when you've both got Jambaway and Kaz with Can 98 just looking in the distance, hoping somebody wants to work their way down. Speaking of working their way down, perfect. He's down himself.
A couple of teams being caught in rotation here.
Longwoods can get extremely busy. I think a few teams rest too much on it being open and easy ground, but time and time again, we'll see teams encroaching on this position. G2 have actually gone for that crate in the back. Climbs.
I thought the steal was coming in. I really thought that was going to come through.
So he must need the gear because he's actually smoking open ground where bullets are actually falling towards him. Vehicle goes up. Apocalypse goes down, but you saw the smoke initially come out, which means that he requires either the nades or the ammunition, maybe even the gear if it isn't damaged up. G2 was someone that I'm going to touch on that crate because they like to rotate down here against the yellows and up on the rock line. They actually do have the AWM now, which is a scary thought in the hands of either Kaint or Brexico. NLT, the remnants are in the yellows just to them, so they need to be really careful. But Foros is currently crumbling around them.
And you can see the team's really committing in for these kills. They need them. The knocks are lovely. It looks good in the kill feed, but it does not gift you the points. So, confirmation found. Off we go. Back to rotations. And